Welcome to 28 Days Beyond, where we celebrate and reflect our history, our heritage, our culture, in our own authentic voice. And I'm your host, Alexander Evans, with my co-host, Maury Johnson.
What's going on, man?
We're going to talk about entrepreneurship and economic empowerment in the Black community.
All right.
Why do you think that's important?
Because we broke. You know, there's a sister, I can't think of her name right now, out of Chicago. Her and her husband did that year of only buying black. And, you know, just watching the way that she breaks down the economics of
Maggie
how
Anderson
often.
is her name.
What is it?
Maggie Anderson.
Thank you for that, yeah. How often the dollar circulates in the white community, in the Jewish community, in the Latino community, then you get to the Black community, and it's a matter of hours before the dollar is out of, right? We know that obviously in a capitalist economy, money is power. Without money, we have no power, we have no influence, we have no way to sort of have our needs addressed and met. That's one of the many importances of entrepreneurship. What about for you?
Well, I figure if we want to tackle Black unemployment, we got to own Black businesses.
Interesting.
You know, we have to be intentional, you know, because it's interesting that we get penalized when we don't come together, but when we do get together, we get penalized. So you might just get penalized.
Yep.
So, but the thing is, being a consumer as opposed to being a creator. And this system is designed by consumers, right? Americans are consuming consumption. And being the designer instead of the driver, because they get to dictate the appetite of your diet when you create things. And I think we got to understand that capacity. And not only that, it gives you a sense of purpose, right? It gives you a sense of legacy, and it gets to empower your community and see the things that, well, watch this. Take advantage of those revenue dollars that's there. So people gonna buy, but why not buy from me? You know, so I think we gotta.
Well, there's obviously, right, historical and psychological reasons as to why not. You know, they say the white man's ice is colder and his sugar is sweeter, right? I mean, you would talk to a Black person about supporting Black business, and they will give you a litany of lists of reasons as to the negative experiences they've had with Black-owned businesses. And then you ask them, well, what about those experiences you've had elsewhere? And they say, no. But at the same time, right? You see what I'm saying? It's a lot harder on ourselves. But of course, then on the other side, in terms of the obstacles to being an entrepreneur, of which there are many, not all of us are like your president, right? Who was fortunate enough to have our fathers give us a small loan of $1 million to start up our own businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's the economic hurdles, there's the sort of educational impediments, right? We're not taught to think along those lines of being creators instead of consumers. And those are some of the things that will prevent us from going into entrepreneurship.
But watch this. We create, we just don't control.
Of course.
Music, we repurposed it. Look at the industries that we have created, we just don't control it.
Well, we're talking about entrepreneurs being in control, and that's where we aren't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, lucky for us, right? We're joined today by Sylvia McKinney, who is the regional director of the network for teaching entrepreneurs. And she's gonna break it down. She's gonna get into all of this and much more when we come back.
Don't be afraid to close your eyes and dream, but then open your eyes and see. Most entrepreneurs are dreamers, and we dream big. We dream out of the box. And this is why I believe so much in Nifty. They help you to take your dreams to a reality.
NIFTY stands for the Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship. NIFTY's been around for 28, almost 29 years. We developed the entrepreneurial mindset, the skills and behaviors needed to approach the world with an innovator's eye and a founder's grit. NIFTY programs have reached nearly 600,000 young people since our founding in 1987. And we like to say that NIFTY sets the stage for a more peaceful, profitable, and advanced future world.
A lot of my students are seeing career paths that they never considered before.
My favorite thing about Nifty is the opportunity that it gives us.
Nifty helps you develop the skills to become an entrepreneur.
I think Nifty teaches students how to not just look at the world as consumers, but as participants in the economy.
To say that Nifty has changed my life would be an understatement.
Students are excited to go to the Nifty classroom.
Nifty is an awesome program.
Nifty has changed my life.
Thank you to Nifty.
It has changed my world.
Nifty!
The Nifty formula is a mix of integrated programs that provide the Nifty advantage to students from under-resourced communities. Our curriculum activates every student to explore entrepreneurship. Students gain industry exposure while creating full or abbreviated business plans. And each young entrepreneur crafts and delivers a pitch at a Nifty competition or expo event. In addition, Nifty provides support services including webinars, our alumni network, and volunteers from the business community. Plus, Nifty offers an unparalleled program of teacher training.
They provide me with the curriculum and all the support that I need.
Nifty absolutely was there every step of the way.
25 years in business. I owe so much of this to Nifty.
When we talk about 21st century skills, ways of thinking, ways of working, Nifty brings a competitive edge.
Before I started Nifty, I was a different student. Without the Nifty program, I wouldn't have had a focus.
The curriculum gives them such an authentic experience that they come away extremely prepared to actually go out and start getting their first jobs.
We call that the entrepreneurial generation that we're empowering. More than anything, I see we're building future leaders. When, young people from under-resourced communities come into our program, they leave the world of what is and they enter the world of what can be. At the end of the day, that's what we're all about.
We're back with 28 Days, and on a set with us, we have Sylvia McKinney. Welcome to the set.
Thank you very much.
And you are from Nifty.
I am from Nifty, yes. So I'm the regional director
you're
of
regional
Nifty.
director. Okay. So what do they mean when they say creating pathways for success in communities and black communities?
So there are a couple of definitions for that. You have a historical definition, where is it meant to be able to go to high school, graduate from high school, go to college, and be a productive citizen and go work for somebody for the next, 50 odd years of your life. The world has changed dramatically. There's no promise, there's no social contract anymore. That if I spend 50 years with a company, I'm going to be taken care of for the rest of my life. Right. So the opportunity to open the Nifty office in Philadelphia was a unique one because it was seeded by two venture capital companies. And what they are saying, what they needed in this community was start building a pool of people with skills. And having an entrepreneurial mindset now is considered a real skill. 8 years ago, again, we barely knew what the word meant. We certainly couldn't, we couldn't spell it. Today, everybody's talking about being an entrepreneur. So what we're doing with children is we're teaching them the skill set to open their own business if they want to learn how to exit from that business, because again, no one keeps a business for the rest of their lives. But more importantly, if they don't want to start a business, how to go work in a company and have the entrepreneurial mindset.
What age are you talking about?
So we like to start as young as possible.
Wow.
So we are working as young as 7th graders to 12th graders. And the beauty about starting as young as we can is because you get to practice risk and you get to practice failure.
Interesting.
So if I go open a lemonade stand and my lemonade stand doesn't work, right? That's my first opportunity at failing. No harm done. It was a lemonade stand, right? But what you want to teach is perseverance. You keep doing it again. So maybe your lemonade stand didn't work because you didn't have good marketing. And today you have all this web opportunity. You didn't use social media. So now you can use social media and you can turn that around. So what other ingredients do you need to put into your business plan to make your idea work? But the more risk you take as young people, the more you're going to be successful as you go down the road.
So when you're talking to young people and you're trying to get them to think more entrepreneurial, right? What are some of do they believe they can be business owners? Because this country was run by merchants and still run by merchants, by the way. And this is the United States company, not country, but let's not sidetrack that. But how does that work? How do you shift their mindset from becoming consumers to creators?
So our sweet spot is working with children from low-income communities.
Okay.
And by definition, they are entrepreneurial. Because for some kids, to go from the schoolyard to their home and navigating how to get there is a real skill, right? So we're taking what we call that innate ability, and we're asking them to apply it to entrepreneurship. You'll be amazed what students will come up with and what ideas they'll come up with. But what they don't have is they don't have social capital. They don't have, access to a bank. Their parents have never worked professionally, quote unquote. Their parents don't know how to manage their finances. So this thing about money, they have no idea what that means. And you find that to be the case with many entertainers who are now like poor, you would think, oh my God, these guys should have been multimillionaires, right? Well, they never learned how to manage money. So we teach them how to manage money, and we teach them in a real way. We do it academically, through a book learning, and then we bring people from the industry into the classroom. So they have a real touch, and they begin to have a real network.
But there's a difference between financial literacy and entrepreneurship.
Is there?
Okay, break that, but what I'm saying, because I've had conversations with people who, any situation, they're like, oh, there's a business opportunity, there's a business. In my mind, I'm not seeing that, right? I don't have that knack necessarily. You said earlier that you can sort of teach this entrepreneurial mindset. What are some of the ways that you go about doing that?
So we teach it in the context of giving kids skills. So we ask them day one, imagine yourself, who do you want to be in life? What do you want to do in life? Most kids today want to be in their own business. They don't want to work for anybody. They'll tell you that in 2 seconds, at least the kids I work with, right? And remember, I'm working with low-income kids. So they've already been shafted by the system. So they're not going to want to work in the system that's already shafted them, right? So they're like, okay, I want to be in control of my own life. And so how do I do that? And so we take them methodically through the process. What is an entrepreneur? Who is an entrepreneur? How do you think about yourself converting, I always tell them I want them to become Oprah-esque, which means, she started off as an anchor person, and now she is the wealthiest, African-American woman in the country, right? And so we talk about how those individuals do that by, again, merging all of their resources together. We have them go through a business plan. We have volunteers come in and teach them about how to present their business plan. And so at the end of the school year, they have put together their own plan, and they have presented that plan, and some are even lucky enough to win cash and go to participate in our national competition. So when you've had that experience, and you test that out now, that whole barrier is over. But you have to understand finance. You cannot be an entrepreneur and not know finance. You got to talk numbers because you won't make any money. And the whole goal of being an entrepreneur is to make money, right? So you got to learn the mechanics of this algebra, to be able to understand, how do I have what we call an economics of one unit? And that simply means, if I am selling a dress, how much does it cost me to make this dress? And then how much can I sell it for, i.e. how much will the market bear? And let me test this out and prototype it and see if I can do it. The beauty of now, the world that we're in, because I consider that we are in an innovation society, is you have this whole world in front of you to sell your clothing. So I can sit in my house, be in my pajamas, and make 20 dresses and sell them to people all over the United States, all over the world. So I don't even have to have a shop, to make money. And so as you watch younger people who are developing apps and who are developing, again, all of these business ideas that simply they're coming out of their homes, they have figured out how to make money. But you got to know how to make it and how to be able to talk it, or else your narrative is not full.
Sylvia, McKinney, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to dig a little bit deeper.
Okay.
I became an entrepreneur because I wanted to make money. My mom had just lost her job, and we were going through some financial trouble. We couldn't afford, the place we were living in, which was a one-bedroom apartment for my sister and herself and myself.
We live into a one room. All three of us share the bathroom. We live in a one room, 10 by 12 room. They go and hanging around the street. All they see is this look, this image. Oh, I'm a dealer. I got chain, I got shoes, I car. That's not all.
And that's what's causing a lot of crimes and a lot of, pregnancies and things like that, because kids don't have something to keep them structured.
We're back with 28 Days and Beyond, and we're going to dig a little deeper with Sylvia McKinney. Sylvia, some of the things that you said was very compelling, I must say, but how can we get those who have left these communities, right, and became successful to go back and see the value of reinvesting their time, their treasure, and their talent in helping those people as what you do with Nifty?
So I think what's missing in communities for a lot of time are the models.
Okay.
You know, once we leave them, we don't want to go back for a variety of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some might be very, very painful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so people have to get over those. But you know, what I do at Nifty is I try to bring in people of color as business leaders all the time.
Okay.
Because children need to see images of themselves, and so and when they see images of themselves, then they can focus on you know, how I can become like that person. I know when you guys were growing up, you know, somewhere down the line someone said you can be the person you want to be. That's not what's being said in today's public schools, and I see it all the time. You know, kids go into places where, you know, there's security desks. There's, you know, you got to go through a security desk. You know, if something happens in the neighborhood, there has to be a lockdown of the school. You can't go out of school. No one can come in. So it's a sad commentary, unfortunately. But is it the end of the world, right? Absolutely not, because somebody sees it as an opportunity. You know, wherever one thing doesn't work, somebody else is making money off of it. Be guaranteed of that, right? Because there are some businesses there, but they're not necessarily Black businesses, but they're cash businesses, and cash is king. You know, if you have a credit card, you got to pay interest on it. So you're not, you know, every time you spend $1 and you're paying, let's say you're paying, you know, every time you spend a credit card, you know, for $1 you're getting 80 cents on it, right? So, and some people who are doing business in those communities are able to buy their homes in cash. You know, and again, if you think about it, if I buy my home in cash, and I don't have to take out a bank loan, I have saved myself thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Certainly so.
You know, so the education of the community and having children feel that someone cares, that they can trust someone, is very, very important. And that's why I took the job at Nifty, was to be able to go into those communities with VC support and say to children, you have a shot, and we'll introduce you to whomever you need to be introduced to, on the basis that one day, when you are rich and you are successful, you will come back to your community.
So what have been some of the success stories through your work?
So we're relatively young. You know, we've only been around for about, you know, 9 years. So what we've done is we've certainly have spurred this entrepreneurial mindset. But I can give you examples of success with Nifty. There's an example of a young woman in New Jersey who, because of a relaxing product, you know, it took her hair out, and she was devastated by it. So she created a cream and shampoo, you know, that would help her hair grow back, you know, similar to Madam C.J. Walker, right? You know, which was the same thing. You know, black hair was falling out all over the place, and all you do is take care of your scalp, you know, and she created her pomade and became the world's, you know, the #1, you know, wealthiest black woman in America. Well, she did the same thing here. And today, you know, she works for Microsoft, but she still has her business, and I believe that business is called Eden's Beauty, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
You know, so she was a Nifty student. You know, that's an example. We also have an example of Rodney Walker. Rodney Walker's story is very fascinating. Young man who was living on the streets in Chicago. Both parents crack addicts. Children were put into different foster care systems. He found Nifty in a class and was so inspired. He won second place at the National Business Plan competition. He went to Morehouse College. Again, this was not within his reach. After he finished Morehouse, he went to Yale in School of Divinity, and today he's a motivational speaker with a book that he's already published, and he's probably not older than 25 years old. So those are two examples, two very powerful examples of students who've gone through the program, and as a result of having, having again resources, social contacts, building their networks, understanding the conversation that goes around the table around business is really key. Steve Mariotti, who's the founder of Nifty, said to me that what he wanted to have happen with Nifty was to have opportunities for these children to have a conversation about money and to have a conversation about wealth. So when kids ask me all the time, they'll say, Mrs. McKinney, do you think I should open a nonprofit business? I tell them in 2 seconds, no. I tell them, go make money, and after you make your money, then you can open a nonprofit organization. What's the point of being in business if you're going to be in business to not make money?
Well, I mean, I like the point that you give people access and opportunity.
Very important. Mentoring and coaching goes hand in hand. You cannot do anything without having folks you can call upon. I mean, any conference you go to, everybody's telling you got to have a mentor. The CEO of Children's Hospital, who is just phenomenal. I mean, she runs this major business, and the women in the room, they were raising their hands. How can I get to know you? How can I talk to you? And she said, I don't have time to spend time with all these women. So she created a blog, and in that blog, she mentors women on how to be successful. So we're introducing the concept of mentoring, which is something they will have to know for the rest of their lives.
So do you believe that everybody can be an entrepreneur?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of us got to be doctors.
Plumbers.
But there was a comment you had made earlier about, off camera about, even entrepreneurs, even athletes and entertainers are in some ways entrepreneurs. So similarly, a doctor can be an entrepreneur.
Yes. I mean, again, I love this saying, I can give you a fish and you'll eat for a day, but I can teach you how to fish and you'll eat for a lifetime. So yes, doctors, one of the biggest problems they have now is they're not business people. The same is true with women who do hair. They're not business people. They know how to do hair. They're talented in that regard, and they know how to do it, but they don't know how to manage the business, and to be entrepreneurial. And so entrepreneurial is seizing an opportunity, taking advantage of it, making money, selling it, and going on to the next project. So today you're going to see a lot more athletes be a lot more smarter because they're seeing what has happened in the past. And they are, by definition, a business. Steph Curry is a business. The other day, I believe the CEO of Under Armour said something along the lines of how he's supporting this administration. And Steph Curry called up and said, hello, my team and I are very concerned. And the CEO of Under Armour is changing his statement.
Wow.
Because if Steph Curry does not carry or endorse his product, he will see a significant drop in his sales.
Certainly so.
That is amazing. I mean, that now is at the table in a ways that our children, will be able to see that. But what we want them to understand is that as they become successful, giving back to the community will be key because it's the only way we'll be able to save those communities.
Certainly. Sylvia McKinney, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with our final thoughts.
I always said I always want to be my own boss. So from there, I was like, hey, what do I have to do to be part of this program? And then Mr. Chris and Mr. Parris like, you're not ready, you don't have what it takes. And I just knew something inside of me that I had this drive that I can show to the world that I have a talent as well as run my own business.
It's like a light bulb goes off. They connect with their hobbies, their skills, and their interests. And all of a sudden they understand how they can build on that and make a living, make a life, make a job. And that's really what we're talking about, is teaching kids how to make their own job.
What excites me about being in entrepreneurship is the freedom that allows people to have, that you can be your own boss. You don't need someone telling you and how to make hours for you. You can just go out and do whatever you want. And I think that that's really good, and that is really empowering to know that you have the opportunity to do that yourself.
We're back with 28 Days with our final thoughts with Sylvia McKinney. Sylvia, how can technology empower people to be successful for those who are entrepreneurial and people want to start businesses?
Technology has shifted the whole game.
Okay.
Think about your cell phone 5 years ago. And think about it today. Flatter, maybe smaller, and what you do with the phone today. Before, again, it was to call someone and they call you back. Now you can add, you can look on your Facebook site, you can Snapchat, you can do anything. And even in most of these phones, you actually can build apps. That's what they're, they got so much power that I think we're not even using, 25% of all the power that's there. So that's just one, right? It's who would have thought of Snapchat, Twitter, again, 5-10 years ago.
Right.
Facebook. If you use PowerPoints, you're actually considered old. So you have to use, again, different kinds of technology to sway your story. Think about all the swag that we have and all the branding that we can do, again, through technology. So we are building an E-generation, and that E-generation is to take advantage of the innovation economy. So what that means is it's now time to be enormously innovative. Look at a problem and solve it, and think of a way to solve that problem that someone else hasn't thought about before. Or if there are some who have thought about it, merge with them, create a joint venture. You don't have to be in this business by yourself. You can find folks out there, and once again, through technology, you can find partners. You can, today, if I want to send my kid to France and I don't have enough money, I can, have a join me or something.
GoFundMe.
Exactly, fund me, and and so there are all kinds of ways that technology is changing our lives each and every day. At some point we'll be obsolete because there'll be robots doing what we're seeing the camera people do here today. So, but there's opportunity, and so we don't want the kids today, again, who are from any background. But I happen, again, the sweet spot for us is working with children from low-income backgrounds, to not participate in that innovation economy. We don't want them to continue to be poor. If you are in poverty, it takes 5 generations for you to get out. We can break this poverty chain if we want to, and we just got to do it. And I believe we can do it through technology, and I think we can do it through entrepreneurship.
Certainly. Well, we want to thank you so much for joining us today, Sylvia McKinney. This has been another episode of 28 Days and Beyond, where we celebrate and reflect on our history, our heritage, and our culture in our own authentic voice. Until next time, peace.